Hey, sports porchers! It's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with Game 34 analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Nashville Predators. Well, sorry I missed you for Game 33. Lots going on Tuesday nights. You know the hockey Jesus is busy on Tuesdays, but I'm back here on a Thursday night, and I had to come live right after the game. I just love this game tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins are absolutely rolling. I was screaming at the television because I thought that those two periods were some of the worst two periods they've played in probably 10 games, but they sure made up for it in that third period. And I'll tell you right now, that first line is back. I was not singing their praises for a very long time, but I can tell you tonight, woo! Brian Rust, Raquel, Crosby, they got it all going on right now. I'm telling you, they just are on fire. And tonight they lit the fire underneath those Nashville Predators. Actually, I think the Predators lit the fire underneath them because the Predators were up 3-1 and they had this game in hand. And in fact, the Pittsburgh Penguins for the first time this year did not have a shot on goal in the first 10 minutes. That's right. I keep track of these things, so I know. You can go back and look, but I promise you that is the truth. And that's what happened tonight. The Pittsburgh Penguins just got out of the gates really slow. They only had 9 shots after the second period. They've had 9 shots in like 6 minutes in some games. And I know they've been playing a little bit of a different game. And if you've been watching me, you've been coming to the Hockey Jesus for your analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, I'm okay with less shots because I think they're getting better quality shots. And I think that actually was the case tonight. I think that the Pittsburgh Penguins did get less shots tonight, and I think that really helped them. Saros wasn't really on his A game tonight, but when it got to be 3-1 and Rusty scored that goal, I'll tell you, Sidney Crosby was just on fire. And then Sid scores that his first goal in like 11 games. And he just gives it right back to McCarron, who blasted him in the corner. I think that Sportsnet did a really good job of analyzing that. Sid actually hit the post, and it went into the corner, and Sid got his own rebound, got it back to the point eventually, and then tipped it in on a Karlsson shot pass. Really, when it comes down to it. But man, that first line, and I'll tell you, in the third period, after Lizotte took that stupid penalty and Karlsson kind of got in the mix, I actually saw some fire from Karlsson tonight. I haven't seen that in a Penguins uniform ever, and that's great. I think the thing about this win that gets me real excited, and I'm sure you can tell by my voice, I'm just so excited about this team right now, is that, how do I say this? That the Penguins are actually starting to have some emotion again. And Karlsson, for the first time, maybe is starting to look a little bit more like a Penguin than just somebody out there collecting a paycheck. When he got hit in the face, you could tell he was pissed. And he's the one who scored that tying goal, that fourth goal. And he was just he was like, yeah, that's right. That's what you get. And that's Penguin hockey right there. When you're in people's faces and you're giving it to them, and Stamkos, especially, I think that is just the way the Penguins need to get together as a team. And I think this could have a good effect for the team moving forward. I know they've been on a roll now for a little while. In fact, they were down in the, Minnesota game 11, they were trending for 52 or 53 points on the season. And with tonight's win, they're trending at 84. That's a 30-point swing. And I know, there's been a lot of games played in between there, but really they've been on a roll now since about game 16, since that Washington game. They had a mini meltdown with the Winnipeg, Utah. But since then, they've been on fire. And, that Colorado game last week wasn't great, but that's okay. If you have 1 or 2 bad games and you play 3 or 4 good games, that's exactly how this team needs to play. The other thing that the Penguins do need to get a handle on it, and especially if they're going to make a run at the Devils on Saturday, they got to do something about the first 10 minutes. They are and once again, I'm your hockey Jesus. I bring you the truth. You can look this up, but in the first 10 minutes, the Penguins have been -11, a -11. And I think as a team, they're somewhere like -20 right now. So most of their negative play is in the first 10 minutes of the game. If they can just wash that out of their system somehow, and I don't know how they're going to do it, to be honest with you. They have to come ready every game. And I think that's why they're playing better in the third period, because it's like they take the first 10 minutes off. And I don't know that they're capable of playing a full 60-minute game. Although that LA game, they were pretty close to playing a good 60 minutes. But even then, they gave up a goal in the first minute. So maybe I'm wrong about that. But these Pittsburgh Penguins are just doing really great. There's still a couple beasts I got to give out. Lizott's still playing on that fourth line. Don't like that. Don't like Lizotte on that fourth line at all. I think Lizotte needs to be on that third line. Nieto and Jarry still out there eating minutes. Okay, whatever. I should note this, we did get POJ back. That's right. He's back in a Pittsburgh Penguins uniform. He was, we dealt him to St. Louis in that Hayes deal. And I guess he just wasn't working out in St. Louis. So they basically gave him back to us for future considerations. That could mean anything. That could mean a 5th round pick. That could just mean maybe we trade them one of our guys down. And I was curious about that, because that means Pettersson's injury is much more severe than we thought it was going to be, which means he's probably going to be out 3 or 4 weeks, I would think. And the other thing is Jack St. Ivany got hurt down in Wilkes-Barre, so he's not playing either. He's not actually due back until January or February, so we probably won't see him in a Pittsburgh Penguins uniform before the Four Nations tournament that happens in early February. And that's why they had to go out and get another defenseman, because I don't even know the name of the guy they were going to bring up. That's bad. When you don't know the name, you've never heard of him, he's not a prospect, it's probably better to go out and get somebody. And why not get a guy who's been here before? I think that's a good move for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Go and get him. Doesn't really cost you anything. And let's just look at the points for tonight before I sign off on you guys. Rust had 4 points. Crosby had 4 points. Karlsson had 2 points. Raquel had 2 points. That's really about it. Grizzly, Letang, Malkin had points, but Letang and Malkin were negative guys tonight. Sid was a +3, so was Rusty. When those guys go, the team wins. And that's really what it comes down to with this team. When the first line is cooking like they were tonight, they are just always going to score. So Pittsburgh Penguins win tonight. That makes them 15-19 on the season with 35 points. That means they got 5 loser points if you care to use that third column, which we don't use here. Hockey Jesus never uses it. 15-19. I know people are going to say tomorrow, oh, they're above 500. Don't fall for that crap. They're 15-19. They're not 15-14-5. That's crap, okay? It's 15-19. They have 19 losses. That loser point is always an SOB, because it makes them look better than they are. Let's take it for what they are. But that being said, there aren't a lot of teams that are over 500 when you take away that loser point. So Pittsburgh Penguins are trending in the right direction. They've really got a really important stretch coming up here. Saturday at the Devils. Monday back home for Philadelphia. Then they get the Christmas break. And then right after the Christmas break and through the end of the year, they play the Islanders twice and Detroit at Detroit on December 31st. That'll be fun. I did actually watch some of that Detroit-Philadelphia game. I don't think those teams are very good. I know everybody's real excited about Michkov for Philadelphia. I don't see it personally. I think he's got some good talent, but he's just not surrounded by anybody right now. He's not even playing with Konechny and Couturier. So I'm not going to jump ahead. Let's enjoy tonight. Pittsburgh Penguins win tonight. They beat Nashville in Nashville. Nashville is the worst team in the league. They came back from a 3-1 deficit. Way to go, boys. Way to fight it out. So that's it for the Hockey Jesus tonight. Hey, if you like what you're hearing, I know a lot of you have already hit the subscribe button, but if you haven't, Smash that subscribe button. You'll get me after every Pittsburgh Penguins game. I do occasionally take off a Tuesday. I have to be honest with you. But I will be here. I'm on vacation pretty much now through the end of the year, so I'm going to try and give you some analysis, not just of the Pittsburgh Penguins, but of the Metro Division as a whole, where I think the Pittsburgh Penguins are headed and where I think the Pittsburgh Penguins, what they could end up doing. It's been a good stretch for the Pens, but this is where you got to look out for a letdown. If you start going 500 here, it's not terrible at this point because you're into the 80s. You're trending for an 80-point season. At some point, you got to get up to 90. But if they make their trip up to 90, expect a fall back at some point. I'd like to see them beat these Metro teams. I think that's real important. So I'll catch you Saturday night, Pittsburgh Penguins fans. Say it loud, say it proud. Let's go Pens. Hockey fans everywhere. I'll see you Saturday.